Never before. Now in Streamlabs desktop.
I think we're live, guys. Welcome back to Blind Proofing. We're gonna do another DeathWish, and then I'm gonna, eat some lunch and then get right into Spell Tank today, guys. This is feeling like a good one. It's feeling like a good one. All good energy. All good energy. Let's set the mood. Hold on, let me see. Okay. Nope. That's not the mood. I don't think that is either. Alright, let's split this stuff out. Okay, so I had I had my best friend and my son both say that they weren't going to tune in until
Decrease system volume.
Okay. I be talking to her right. Okay.
Decrease system volume.
No, I had my best friend and my son both say that they weren't going to listen to the PocketFM series until I had 10 episodes, so this is going to be the 10th episode. So I might put some splash on it. I think the last few episodes have been pretty interesting and growing in intensity. So I was wondering if I needed to play around with maybe going into Lester's perspective here and maybe showing what he's been doing by so I'm gonna look. I think I'm gonna play with this guy. I think this how
Google Chrome pages. Streamlabs desktop. Google Chrome pages. Find Streamlabs Google Chrome Pocket Studio. Now in 8 a.m. Money Talks right. Now in 8 AudioBookAnime. DeathWish Ep number 4 a PocketFM story. YouTube. High memory usage 1.3 gigabytes. Google Chrome.
Wait, what did I name today's episode?
20% volume. Unmute keyboard shortcut M button. Group. Reload this page. AudioBookAnime. Complimentary. YouTube video player. Group. 8. Blindfolded proof. Update prof. Link. Visited. Link. Community. Shorts. Short. Play posts. Search. Latest. Popular. Oldest. Level 2. More actions. Visited. Level 2. Link. AudioBookAnime. DeathWish Ep number 4 a PocketFM story 1 hour, 40 minutes. Reload this page.
I'm hoping that I named this episode the right thing, because I think I might have named it the wrong thing. I don't know how to rename a YouTube video
Guide,
yet.
select visited, link, YouTube premium home, skip navigation, update, lit, short, posts, tag, playlists, live, selected, posts, popular, oldest, level, more actions, button, level 2, link, AudioBookAnime, DeathWish Ep number 5 a PocketFM story, group. You are currently on a group.
We are
to interact with items in this group, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
I guess, T. We gotta keep this up. Good energy, good vibe. I think we're
complimentary group. Main. Pause keyboard shortcut. Unmute keyboard shortcut M.
Cool. Anybody who comes in, if you comment now, it should read the comments live to me. I think on Twitch or YouTube. I don't know if it'll automatically start taking me live on TikTok and Facebook once I have the appropriate follower count, but we'll see. We shall see.
Unmute M button
group. Just as a
Streamlabs desktop pages. Pages 9. The killing begins. Pages window. Body page 1 of 4. Edit close window. Now in Win Collection, create default button. Now in Untitled 3, win by 0, 10, period, space. T-A-E, the T-O-U-A, trauma. O-F, of. M-O-M-E-N-T-U-N, momentum, space. Selection deleted, body grave, at grave, 1, 0, 10, space. M-A-N-I-P-U-A-T-E-D, manipulated. M-O-M-N-N-E-N-T-U-N, momentum, space. New tab. L-E-T-E-R, Lester, space. Lester, comma, commonly. K-O-N, known. T-O-2, A-E-F, himself. A-D-N-H-I-E-F, himself. A-E, alone, comma. Space, D-U-E, do. Lester, more commonly known to himself, and himself alone, do. E-U-D, space, comma, alone, comma, space. A-S, E-F-E-R, misspelled Esper, R-E-P-S. E, space.
Am I spelling that wrong?
S.
Ziggy, spell Esper.
Esper is spelled E-S-P-E-R.
E-F-E-R, misspelled Esper.
Yeah, y'all falling
Space.
for that.
Lester, more commonly known to himself, and himself alone, as Esper, misspelled space.
Ziggy, define Esper.
Esper is a surname. Did that answer your question?
No.
Thanks for your feedback.
Mm-hmm. Ziggy, what is an Esper?
Decrease system volume.
Is that all you got for me? Ziggy, what more can you tell me about Esper?
I can't share details about other companies or products, but I'm here to help with information about Alexa and Amazon services. For more about Alexa,
Ziggy, please stop.
Alexa.com.
I appreciate you. Siri, can you tell me anything about the word Esper?
The word Esper is derived from the Japanese word Esperanto, meaning one who hopes. It is typically used to describe individuals who possess extrasensory perception, ESP, which refers to the ability to perceive information beyond the five senses. Another possible origin of the word Esper could be from Greek mythology, where Hesperus, also known as Esperus, was the personification of the evening star, often associated with the planet Venus. This is from OpenTentAuthority.com and Nanocensus.com.
Body space,
Say open the
space, comma, misspelled Esper, comma, space. Lester, more commonly known to himself, and himself alone, as misspelled Esper. T-E-R, after, having, A-D, had, C, E-D, killed, who, N-E-W, new, his, R, space, his, T-R-E, true, D-E-N-T-I, T, identity, space, identity, comma, space, double, was, G, having, E, the, G-R-A-D-E-T, grandest, T-I-M-E, time period, new line, tab. P-A-Y-I-N-G, paying, R-T-A-E-N-G, healing.
Excuse me.
Space, healing. I-N-G, going, T cost, T-A-E, the K-I-D, kid, space, kid, I-E-T, quiet, T-E, quiet, A-T, big, his, E-T, cut, comma, E-T, but, I-T, will, E-B, R-T, ain't worth, I-T, it, space, it, period, space, T-I-L, still, comes, K-E, makes, E-Me, D-R, wonder, A-How, A-I, his, T-O-N-E, tone, G-R-W, grows, space, grows, question mark, new tab, L-E-T-R, Lester, K-W, new, T-T, that, T-A-E-A-R, mayors, E-S, N-E-E-S, census, W-R-R-E-N-T, weren't, A-S-R-E-N-E-D, refined, A-S-E, space S A I O N O space. Lester knew that the mayor's senses weren't as refined as his own. Own space. Own space. Own the moment T that space that. Lester knew that the mayor's senses weren't as refined as his own in the moment that space that he let the boy cat walk walk away space away period space L-E-T-R Lester hadn't been able to examine the D-I-F-R-E difference the what boy in the T instant A-E-D heat T first A-P-P-R-A-E-D approached comps E-T but A-L-T-R after K-I-N-G walking A-L-N-G-I-D-E alongside E boy I-I-R 4 E-T but A-E-W few M-E-N N-E-M-O-M space few A-R-D yards space yards comma space A-E-He U-D could T-tell space tell period new line tab T A-E the Y boys S A-A-D double shadow
12:21 p.m. One notification. Discord. Now.
double
Discord.
A was space was period space the boy's shadow was O-F off A what say E-A-T least space least period space the boy's shadow was off to say the least header by in it the two off was about a comma the boy's shadow was off to say the least comma off comma the boy's shadow was off to say the least space end of text body space period least period space I-T it D-A-N-T wasn't A-I-E alive space alive comma space what anything R-I-D-I-C-U-L-E ridiculous space ridiculous comma space B-U-T but E-T-R Lester U-D could E-E-F feel E-A-G something G-R-D growing D-E inside space
12:22 p.m. Two
inside
notifications. Facebook. Now. Facebook. Notification.
space inside question mark space T almost S if T E the R-N-I-E promise A-D-U-N-G dungeon R portals own mana almost as if the promise of a dungeon portal's own mana space mana double A-S was I-N-D-E inside space almost as if the promise of a dungeon portal's own mana was inside period space double A which you did cook in only me one T T-A-N-G thing I-N-L-E-S-E-R at Lester's M-I-D mine space mine period new tab W-A-A-T what A-R-E-R Y-O-U-U-D-I-N-G doing K-I-D kid question mark What are you doing, kid? Question mark. Kid question mark. New line. New tab. W. Kid. New tab. L-E-T-R. Lester. T-A. K-E-D. Track. R. Riker. Rikers. E-V. E-R-Y. Every. M-O-E-E-T. Movement. Space. Movement, comma. Mana. O-T. Lit. L-L-N-T-E-R. Lantern. D. Made. Own. Mana. E. Like. A. O. Echo. A. Location. Y-T-E. System. Space. Systems, period.
I am. Because I deserve it. It's I'm coining it Starbucks Sunday. That's how I feel about it. And since Saturday got an S in it too, we might as well just double down.
Lester tracked Riker's every movement, using the mana of the lit lantern made from his own mana like an echolocation systems. Like my own, his, from, made, lit, the, using, movement. Use the, mana, of, the mana. Mana. M-E-R-E-S. Systems. Lester tracked Riker's every movement, using the energies of the lit lantern made from his own mana like an echolocation systems. Period. S. Period. Space. A-E-D could. E-E-C-T-A through. The walls. Space. Walls, comma. T-A-G watching. Riker didn't. E chase. T-E-R after. E the girl. T-E-R Lester. P-R-E-D pursued. Space. He could see through the walls, watching as Riker didn't chase after the girl Lester pursued. D. Pursued period. D instead. T-E boy. P-P-R-A-E-D approached. T-A-E the. P-R-E prone. Space. E-N-C. Uncork. Body. S. Unconscious. T-A youth. Youth, comma. Space. E-N-G bending. T down. T-2. L-I-T lift. Space. Lift. E-N-G something. From. T the. D. Child's. T chest. Space. Chest, period. New tab. H. A-E-L-L-S. Health. Period. Question mark. New tab. R-I-E-R. Riker. R-I-P-E-D. Rip. A-P-G-E. Page. R-E-E. Free. T-E. The. E-A-T. Space. Of. Riker ripped a page free of E-E-R-S-E-G-A-P. Space. A. Space. Ripped. D-E-P-P-I-R. T-R-E. Tor. S. E-T-I-G. Something. E-T-R. Lester. You didn't. Couldn't. Make out. Riker tore something Lester couldn't make out. Space. Out. Through. T-A-E. The. I-P-P-P-G. Rippling. N-E-R-G-E-F. Energies. T. That. U-T-E-D. Outlined. A-I-M. Riker tore something Lester couldn't make out through the rippling energies that outlined him. M-I-A. Space. Outlined. R-I-E-R. Riker. Space. Riker, period. Period. Riker, comma. Riker, period. New tab. M-E-T. Must. E-B. E-T-H. Something. L. Small. Space. Small, comma. Space. A. E-T-T-E-R. Letter. Space. Letter, comma. space a what e maybe p a r par a t parchment space parchment question mark new tab t a e then t a e the e say d I e dimensional p e e pressure t Lester t felt a within at Rikers 6 shadow LOOMED bloomed comma space D at R dist GG distorting ERY everything TER Lester you could C the O room momentarily space momentarily before once game space space he space before. Then the same dimensional pressure Lester felt within Riker's shadow bloomed, distorting everything Lester could see in the room momentarily before. Space before suddenly vanished. Riker began. Space Riker joined the chase space chase period. New tab. INTRATGG. Interesting. Space. Interest. Double E. Bot. Wheel. A. V. E. Have. T. O. 2. S. E. E. C. Space. C. I. F. If. Space. Space. C. O. M. A. Much. N. E. What money. P. P. Pops. Out. W. E. With. In turn. M. P. D. E. Upside. D. N. Down. D. N. A. H. M. E. W. E. Times. Space. Times. Thought. E. T. Lester. A. G. Chuckling. Space. Chuckling period. New tab. 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 A. E. E. D. A. R. T. E. D. Started. U. P. Up. A. E. W. Few. G. A. T. Flight. Of. T. R. I. Bottom stairs. Space. Stairs. Comma. D. He darted up a few D. Space. Comma. Comes. A. Inch. Rushing. R. D. Toward. N. Up. E. N. Open. W. I. N. D. W. O. Window. Comma. Space. Comma. Comma. Space. A. N. D. N. U. N. P. E. D. Jumped. S. T. A. T. Straight. Up. U. T. Out. Space. Out. Space. Out. He darted up a few flights of stairs, rushing toward an open window, and jumped straight out. Out. Cut window. Open. And toward. Rushing. Toward. And open. Open. A. E. A. Area. A. Wall. E. Where? A. Window. A. Should. E. Have. E. N. Been comma. Comma. N. And comma. 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 He darted up a few flights of stairs, rushing toward an open area of wall where a window should have been, and jumped straight out.
I'm gonna go watch. I'll watch. I'm gonna go warm up my coffee.
And D.
I'll be right back, guys.
Space. End of text. Space. T. T. Out. He darted up a few flights of stairs, rushing to space. Out. Period. New tab. A. His. D. N. E. D. Snake. T. Out. N. A. D. E. T. Deft. E. E. T. N. 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 T. Misspelled. T. N. T. N. E. M. E. V. E. E. T. Movement. Space. His hands snaked out in a deft movement. movement, comma, movement, space. G misspelled Lestering. G-N-I-R, Lester, G-A, G grabbing, T-A-E, the, space, the, W-O-O-D, wood, A-O-E, above, above, A-I-M, him, space, him, comma, space, G using, A-I-M, his, M-E-N-T-U-N, momentum, Lester grabbing the wood above him, using his momentum, two, sway, U-P, up, A-R-D, upward, space, upward, comma, upward, comma, upward, Lester grabbing the wood above him, using his momentum to swing upward, period, upward, period, new line, new period, upward, space, his hand snaked out in a space, new tab, A-E-P, L-L-I-P-P-E-D, flipped, space, G curling, I-N-W-A-R-D, inward, U-N-T, until, A-E-P, he, was, W-W-O-N-C, once, N-E, more, U-P, G-A-T, upright, G, soaring, G-U-T, just, A-H-A, high, E-N, on, U-H-A, enough, two, D, land, N-N-A-C-R, U, body space, crouch, the, roof, space, roof, period, space, W-A-E-R-E, where? L-E-T-R, Lester, L-O-K-E-D, looked, A, back, G-T, just, I-N-N-E, times, two, E-E-C-R-I-K-E-R, Riker, T-R-I-N-G, staring, I-N-N-A-N-G, amazing, G-N-I-Z, Z-E-T, amazement, A-T-A-T-A-I-N, him, space, him, comma, E-R-E before, E-T-E-R, Lester, P-N-T-E-D, pointed, D down, E series of A-E at homes, A-E what they, W-E-R-E were, now, E above comma, A-N-N, N-A, N-T-N, P-N-T-E-D, pointed, A-T-T-E-G-R, girl, A-C, racing, A-E-R, her, E, light, space, life, period, he flipped, curling inward until he was once more upright, soaring just high enough to land in a crouch on the roof, where Lester looked back just in time to see Riker staring in amazement at him, before Lester pointed down the series of homes they were now above, and pointed at the girl racing for her life. Riker, the at point, now, were, they, home, of, the, down, the, home, they, were, now, above, and, pointed. D-E-T-N-I-O-P, space, N. G-E-T-R-E-D, gesture, space, D-E-R-E-T-E-G, space, N-P-N-T-E-D, point of, sit the down, point before, less pointed, D-E-T-N-I-O-P, G-E-T-R-E-D, where Lester looked back just in time to see Riker staring in amazement at him, before Lester gestured down the series of homes they were now above, and pointed at the girl racing for her life. Homes, they, were, now, above, N, space, pointed, D-E-I-N-G, where Lester looked back just in time to see Riker staring in amazement at him, before Lester gestured down the series of homes they were now above, pointing at the girl racing for her life, pointing, life, period, distance, period, tab, D-R-O-P, drop, the, T-E-R-N, lantern, you, idiot, space, idiot, E, cheese, G-T-T, getting, A, away, space, away, period, away, right double quote, new tab, Rikers. Face. E-D. Flickered. Space. Flickered. Through. Series. Facial. Expressions. Expressions. Lester. Could. Only. Describe. Furious. Space. Furious, comma. Furious, comma. Space. Riker's face flickered through a series of facial expressions Lester could only describe as furious.
Jeez. I know I said I was gonna warm my coffee, but I want to get this up.
Space, comma. Furious, space. A-W-E-R, however, D-E-E-E-A, misspelled devilish. G-R-I-N, grin, T-A-E, boys. S-E, face, D-E-D, landed, in, on, space, on. D-E, made, L-L-L-E-T-R, Lester, E-E, feel, A-S, S, F-E-D, heed, A-D, said, E-T-I-G, something. R-R-G, space, something, W-R-N-G, wrong, space, wrong period. New tab. Bottom left double quotation mark. Left double E, and then R-I-K. Rick. R, misspelled Ricker. R-E-K-K-I-R, space. Then R-I-R, Riker. U-N-A-E-D, punched. T-E, the G-R-U. U-R-G, space. The R-O-O-T-O-P, rooftops. Rooftops, P-P-I-G, snapping. E, bones. I-N, his. A-N-D, hand, space, handcuffs, E-T-E-R, Lester, N-O, now, E-able, T-O-2, E-E-C-T-E, the ice, V-E-R-E-D, covered, I-M, limb, T, just, E-N-T, moment, E, before, space, before, T-G, taking, off, X, across, T-E, the R-O-O, F. Roof. Period. Then Riker punched the rooftop, snapping bones in his hand. Lester now able to see the ice-covered limb for just a moment before taking off across the roof. Period. Roof period. New line. Tab. E-T-R. Lester. U-N-T. Couldn't. E-L-P. Help. T. But. T-E. Notice. T. That. R. Riker. A. D-N-T. Hadn't. S-E-D, screamed, space, screamed, or, even, E-D, flinched, A-T-E, punch, space, punch, comma, punch, period, new tab, P, probably, T, frost, T-T-E, bitten, bitten, comma, space, O, T, that, wills, O, T, cost, E-T-T, pretty, E-N, penny, T-O, 2, if, space, if, page 2 body probably frostbitten, that will cost a pretty penny to if, space, if, he, it can't, even, R-D, afford, T, it, space, it, period. Page 2 body probably frostbitten, that will cost a pretty penny to if he can't even afford it. New tab. L-E-S. E-E-T-R. Lester. T-O-O. Took. Off. A-T. At. Spat. A. G. Jog. Space. Jog counts. I-W-N. K. G. Knowing. That. D-A-T-E. Mandate. Of. E-P-O-E. Exposure. Space. Exposure. T-O-P-P-E-D. Stop. L. All. From. Using. E-X. E. Excessive. Lester took off at a jog, knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from using excessive skill. Usage public space public period space mortal perception that what they were safe space safe comma d n though.
Facebook. 2 minutes ago. Facebook. Notification.
No, you don't. Thank you for letting me know.
1 p.m.
Take some insulin right now. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take my insulin and warm up and make coffee. Ziggy, how many hours are in a year?
1 year, 3,760 hours.
So if I can get 3,000 people to watch me for 1 hour, I'll get partnered. I don't think that's unrealistic. I think maybe I need to make some more shorts though, just because I noticed how easy it was to rack up some numbers on those. Because I got 100 and something views on a short that was literally just an apology for me falling asleep during stream one time. So I think if I do some more stuff like how I want to talk about getting partnered with PocketFM, like we're writing for Pocket FM right now, and I think my next checkpoint with them is at 50,000, and that's when they'll see if I can get serialized, if I have a knack for making the content the right way, and so we'll see. We will see.
The mortal perception was that they were safe, and no.
7 minutes ago. Facebook. Notification.
Why does that just seem so loud today? It was not that loud yesterday. Did I maybe have it like pushed down in there? You trying to act crazy. You just want everybody to hear you yelling. That's wild. But I did take care of myself, so please stop yelling at me. Sorry, that's my glucose monitor. Glucose monitor, guys. I apologize.
Page 2 body. The mortal perception was that they were safe, and no. Space. Though. T-A-E. What they. W-E-E. Were. B-O-U-L-E-T. What misspelled above. T-E-U-B. B-O-U. What absolutely. A T at R I can't risk M A much A R there E R Y D A what every day E S lives comma space E at E R Lester A double saw E D I L E E difference A such E T societal A E choices A D head space head. The mortal perception was that they were safe, and though they were absolutely at risk much of their everyday lives, Lester saw the difference such societal choices had. Space head W A W N shown 2 E B E N I beneficial body space beneficial 2 E the P A E piece of D L A E Cloud Lake. T. What city? Space. City period. New tab. R. Riker. R. P. S. L. G. Surpassing. Space. N. A. P. P. S. G. What? Surprisingly. M. A. D. E. Made. G. O. D. Good. P. E. E. D. Speed. Space. Speed, comma. E. E. N. Even. Space. Even. O. H. Looking. O. A. His. A. D. E. R. Shoulder. A. T. E. T. R. Lester. A T E 1 P T point comma giving man A B L O O D blood I E D filled G R I N grin A D N A D I N cat wink space wink peer new tab O cat cocky B S A T R D bastard space bastard A T thought L E T R Lester space Lester comma space E E N G feeling T T that E E R Y A G everything E H being I S P A Y E D displayed D A was O N P E T completely U N I E unlike T E normally D I A H skittish U N G E T R youngster space youngster period. Period. Youngster period. New line tab. Bottom left double quotation mark. I. O. W. E. O. Y. U. A. A. T. Beating. Y. U. B. R. A. T. Brat. Space. Brat, comma. Space. I. A. N. T. 8. Noble. Space. Noble, comma. Space. B-U-T, but, I, right single M, I'm. A, gonna, A, del, shove, U, del, A, Y. A, E, what they. A, but I'm gonna show you why they should treat me like I am. New tab. O-I-K-E-R, Riker, space, Riker, comma. E, dove. Space, dove, comma. S-P-E-A-R, spear, T-A-K-L-I-N-G, tackling, space, tackling. T-A-E, the, G-R-L, girl, space, girl. A-T-At, T-A-E, the, A, space, the, W-R-T, worst, O-L, T-I-N-E, at times, space. Times period. Page 2 body Riker, dove, spear tackling the girl, at the worst of times. Page 2 body Riker, dove, spear tackling the girl, at the worst of times. Period. Times period. Space. Space period. Times period. New, treat me like I am. New line, new, right double quotation, new tab. A-E-P. E-D, close, I-N, in comma. Space. N, C, page 2 body, comma, in comma. E-T, inch, getting, O-S, E, close, E, enough, T, 2, E, even, T, try, A, re, T, out, R, D, toward, her. Space, her period, A-E, the, pair, P-E-D, inch, speeding, X, across, O-N-E, one, A, the, many, P-L-N, planks, I-D, laid, from, O-T-T, T-O-O-R, space, from. The pair speeding across one of the many planks laid from, O-O-O-F, T-O-P, rooftop, O-2, O-O-O-F, T-O-P, rooftop. To make T-R-A-V-E, travel. Space. Travel. E-A-E-R, easier. Many, R-N-N-E-R, inner. R-E-N-N-I, space, many. E-S-E-N, R-F, messengers. That works. H-A-T, space, E-E-S-E-D, works. O-A-U-T-T, throughout. The what city, space. The pair speeding across one of the many planks laid from rooftop to make travel easier for the many messengers that work throughout the city. City period. New line. Riker, dove, spear, new line. New line, period. Period. New tab. E some. E at homes. E work. E close. E enough. T that. T the A R D at boards. E were. U N. Un by E. D E D unneeded. Space. Unneeded period. Space. A S T E O D would. A Y E E R never. R E P A R. I-R-I-E-D, repaired, repaired, comma, space. Leaving, many, of, there. Shift, R-I-D-E, bridges, D-O-B-N-G-N-I-O-W, space, bridges, shake, violently, T-O-2, R-S-E-D, raced. At P the top. T E R there. D E T E R A T G body N G deteriorating. Space. deteriorating. As the wood was never repaired, leaving many of their makeshift bridges to shake violently at the two raised atop their deteriorating. Page 2 body as the wood was never repaired, leaving many of their makeshift bridges to shake violently at the two raised atop their deteriorating. Space. Deteriorating. Space. Deteriorating. S. Surf as the wood was never repaired, leaving many of their makeshift bridges to shake violently at the two raised atop their deteriorating surfaces. 2. The at violently. Shake. At. T.S. As the wood was never repaired, leaving many of their makeshift bridges to shake violently as the two raised atop their deteriorating surfaces. S. A new right end of text body right new atop period S. As the wood was never repaired, leaving never repaired some home E space enough that the were on the as the page 2 body T S A T. Page 2 body some homes were close enough that the bores were unneeded. The wood was never repaired, leaving many of their makeshift bridges to shake violently as the two raced atop their deteriorating surfaces. The
Let me get that one more time.
page 2 body some homes were close enough that the bores were unneeded. The wood was never repaired, leaving many of their makeshift bridges to shake violently as the two raced atop their deteriorating surfaces. Repaired, leaving deteriorate new line, new period, 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 new tab, the spec the page 2 body the instances without p planks ed called r 4 mostly short j u m p jumps jumps all of the which space which Riker A.D. head scene G coming coming comes sometimes even jumping space jumping. The instances without planks called for mostly short jumps, all of which Riker had seen coming, sometimes even jumping. G-M-I-P-M M-P space P-N-U-J space even the G gaps without G sing D-R W-A-D space downward 11 E glance period.
Jesus.
Period. Glance period. Space. T feet T that E D show his awareness was R P sharp space sharp S Lester E-D believed T-E the A-D child who P-A-Y-E-D played in D-A-R dark O-R-N-E-R corners. A feat that showed his awareness was sharp, as Lester believed the child who played in dark corners. Space. Corners. W-T-T-A-A-W. Space. Corners. Only A-R A space. Watch. Those. Live. Light. Space. A feat that showed his awareness was sharp, as Lester believed the child who played in dark corners only to watch those live in the light. Light. Should E F period. New tab. D no. D kid kid comma N T don't Exclamation mark. New line. Riker dove, spear tackling the girl at the worst of times. Riker end of tech period. Times period. Space. He. Did. U6ES. What successfully. Tackle. Space. Tackle. Her. Space. Her. Off. Her. Feet. Space.
Physical. Miss. The auto. Unmessage.
Feet period. Space. Well, all clear. Off. The side. The fourth. What story? P rooftop space. Rooftop period. New tab. Bottom left. R. Riker at. Bottom left at. Right double quotation mark. New line tab. Lester Watt 2 far comma space reaching his arm out D drawing on every bit of mana within him s summon fourth hit soul skip space L skills maximum output massive burst space burst period new tab hand made of misspelled telekinetic space misspelled telekinetic force. Page to body a hand made of misspelled telekinetic force. T space of T K N E T body telekinetic. Page to body a hand made of telekinetic. End of text. Body space telekinetic. Force. ED formed. Like T-A-E the A wrath H D God D-E made A-Y physical space physical period space L-E-S-R Lester new not Y E-P felt U-A such S U-D-D sudden P-R-U powerful U-R-G urge T-2 T-R-A boy space boy comma boy comma R-E-G-R-E-T regretting the A action action the N moment the N at brownstone T that E-R-T-E-D separated L-E-T-R Lester N W-E-R-E where R-E-R Riker fell space Lester knew not why he felt such a sudden and powerful urge to try and save the boy, regretting the action the moment the brownstone that separated Lester and where Riker fell. L space fell comma E-P-L-D-E-D explode space exploded period N entire corner structure blown A-R-T apart at space T-A space apart I-N A-A-B-A-T-H-E breathe space E breath period space T the Y-Y-E Y alley T the T-2 T-H at youths space youths fell into comps E-P-E-D exposed I-K like space like A-D body B E D abused. T U N T blast space blast period. Blast shot A by abuse page D E U A space by T E D obliterate space blast. The alley the two youths fell into, exposed like a body obliterated by a shotgun blast. Period. Blast period. New tab. L E T R Lester. E froze. That moment. Space. Moment period. Space. N O T not. Space. T not. E C E because not because. Space because T the T two D E A D dead D N P L T T E D splattered D E bodies E D could now E C from his N T H E vantage P N T point space point period space N O no comma space what rock him P up T short. Space short double was space was Rikers A W shadow space shadow comma space P U G pulling boy double I within T itself space itself comma U D E D hundreds of D hands D made of what Lester now new was D indeed not shadow space shadow comma or of archaic space F arcane S D shadow man space N mana space mana comma T but D instead was LIV living space living P E space T E time O N T I M U I M misspelled continuum U M I T N O C space time O N T I N U continue U I U M continuum space
Ziggy, define space-time continuum.
According to Wikipedia, in physics, spacetime, also called the spacetime continuum, is a mathematical model that fuses the three dimensions of space and one dimension of time into a single four-dimensional continuum.
End of text. No. What brought him up short was Riker's shadow, pulling the boy within itself. Hundreds of hands made of what Lester now knew was indeed not a shadow, or of arcane shadow mana, but instead was living space-time continuum. M. Continuum. Space. Continuum. New tab. L. E. T. R. Lester. D. Could. E. E. C. Space. C. T. E. The. G A T C galactic E R E energies B G being T E D twisted but A E the hands S S T E they D A G G E D dragged I M him D down T O into T E V E themselves space themselves comma themselves period space T A the A action T the U N A E unfathomable E N T T entity T still E N G seeming T 2 E B A T G G E struggle space struggle period space E A each the hands When A W E D spawn only G managing A few fractional inches with each t attempt. Page 3 body each of the hands when spawned only managing a few fractional inches with each attempt. 2D G drag him the P portal space portal period new tab portal that space that L-E-T-R at Lester's K-E-E and Keen at E-N-E at Census U-D could at E-E-C-T-E the O-P-G-G opposing at D side of page 3 body a portal that Lester's keen senses could see the opposing side of period space T-E-E image of L-E-E-P sleep G sleeping Riker Double A misspelled at was E-E-L-A-E-D revealed when E-E-T-R Lester D-E-D dared P-E-E-R peer into the P-R-L at portals D-P at depths space depths comma depths period space T-A-E the O-D-E-R older man having B-B-A space having no E clues A-S T what A-E what E-G seeing occur space occur period new tab A-E-P felt H his A space felt his skills T-G-R trigger it that it moment space moment period space the V-R very that D may him into the P-R powerful W-D-R wielder H-E was space was period space his S-O-U-L soul skill space soul skill period new tab T the R memory his D mind of what seeing was burn his what memory what way that T tight the what memory 2 H his U-L soul period space period soul comma further more fate space fate period new tab left parenthesis left parenthesis asterisk D-I-N-N-I-D B-N-G bling G-N-I-L-B as tab new period page 3 botted that tied the memory to his soul and furthermore his fate period making his O-R-L-A overlay A-I-E chime period new tab bottom left double quotation mark B-L-I-N-G bling asterisk page 3 body bling star new line new tab left double quotation mark left double quote left parenthesis asterisk page 3 body star bling star page 3 body star bling star L-I star end of text body star bling star asterisk end of text body new tab E-T-E-R eternal L-E-N-R-E memories T R G G R E D triggered. Hyphen space. R I K E R Riker. O N N O N common. B B space. B O R N common born. Hyphen space. P O T N E E N T O P space hyphen. Hyphen space. Page 3 body eternal memories triggered. Riker common born. Space. New line tab. A L T R after T A K I N G taking O N on R I R Riker O N N O N O R N common born. T the T youth L E D showed S T R N G E strange A I L T shifts I N P R O N N I T personality space. Page 3 body after taking on Riker common born the youth showed strange shifts in personality. Why? Personality period. Space. A didn't. Fight. His. P-O-T. Potential. N. Misspelled enclave. C. S. Enslavement. Space. He didn't fight his potential enslavement. Enslavement period. Space. Nor. Did fight M becoming A slaver space R slave T R A D R trader space trader period new tab T the youth T A D instead E D showed N I M P E impressive P R O L V A T Y proclivity R T the A tasks given space given period space M A T T R matters D include space include when A T G watching this when reliving this memory memory at Rikers hidden ancestral tone skill unknown space unknown period new tab affinities may include colon space space slash space time. Page 3 body affinities may include space / time space time alteration space alteration period space new tab assessed threat space threat level space level colon space cataclysmic space cataclysmic period new line L-E-T-E-R Lester space Lester E-D blinked space blinked period space T-E the E-N-R memory E-D heed E-D watched T left him B A space him E-D baffled E-U D beyond E belief space belief period space single glance at Riker D had D caused the M memory two shut down his every sense until he relived Interaction space. Interaction period space. One he hadn't had yet space yet comma space which bothered Lester
Instagram notifications.
his core space core period new tab bottom left double quotation mark God S gods EBD damned H A F I F E have T 2 another time T A inch traveling R T T R B B R T Brett period right double quotation out of document 1224 document end of text body gods be damned if I have to kill another time traveling brat page 1 summary 10 manipulate page 3 page in header end of new line he hadn't had yet with Riker had caused the memory to shut down his every sense until he relived the interaction he hadn't had yet new line gods be damned if I had new line period to new tab T A the boy kept looking his shoulder Lester smiling space smiling period space in what way that Phil Lester with I confident that was wrong about what he what you quickly suspecting space suspecting about body footer in edit text body not in a way that filled Lester with confidence that he was wrong about what he was quickly suspecting about space about the what boy period actions available format text quickly by voiceover body tab then felt it space it period space even stood waiting for the mayor to arrive space arrive space Lester you could feel the energy space energy distorting what everything you around Riker space Riker space Riker in space in the radius his space his W shadows length around himself space himself period space P R powerfully unique space wielder skill had in B birthed space birth comma Riker in common born space common was in no longer mortal space mortal period new line gods be damned if I have to kill another time traveling brat end of text body gods be damned if I have to kill another speech muted
Okay, guys, we'll see how this goes so far.
10. Manipulated momentum. Lester, more commonly known to himself and himself alone as Esper, after having had killed all who knew his true identity, was having the grandest time. Paying for the healing is going to cost the kid quite a bit of his cut, but it will be worth it. Still, makes me wonder how his tone grows. Lester knew that the mayor's senses weren't as refined as his own in the moment that he let the boy walk away. Lester hadn't been able to examine the difference in the boy in the instant he'd first approached, but after walking alongside the boy for but a few yards, he could tell. The boy's shadow was off, to say the least. It wasn't alive or anything ridiculous, but Lester could feel something growing inside. Almost as if the promise of a dungeon portal's own mana was inside, which could only mean one thing in Lester's mind. What are you doing, kid? Lester tracked Riker's every movement, using the energies of the lit lantern made from his own mana like an echolocation system. He could see through the walls, watching as Riker didn't chase after the girl Lester pursued. Instead, the boy approached the prone and unconscious youth, bending down to lift something from the child's chest. Helse! Riker tore something Lester couldn't make out through the rippling energies that outlined Riker. Must be something small, a letter, maybe parchment. Then the same dimensional pressure Lester felt within Riker's shadow bloomed, distorting everything Lester could see in the room momentarily, before it suddenly vanished, and Riker joined the chase. Interesting. We'll have to see how much money pops out if we turn him upside down and shake him a few times, thought Lester, chuckling. He darted up a few flights of stairs, rushing toward an open area of wall where a window should have been, and jumped straight out. His hand snaked out in a deft movement, Lester grabbing the wood above him, using his momentum to swing upward. He flipped, curling inward, until he was once more upright, soaring just high enough to land in a crouch on the roof, where Lester looked back just in time to see Riker staring in amazement at him, before Lester gestured down the series of homes they were now above, pointing at the girl racing for her life in the distance. "Drop the lantern, you idiot! She's getting away!" Riker's face flickered through a series of facial expressions Lester could only describe as furious. However, the devilish grin the boy's face landed on made Lester feel as if he'd said something wrong. Then Riker punched the rooftop, snapping bones in his hand, Lester now able to see the ice-covered limb for just a moment before taking off across the roof. Lester couldn't help but notice that Riker hadn't screamed or even flinched at the punch. Probably frostbitten. That will cost a...
Speech on body 10. He let 10. New line. Misspelled house. New Riker tore something Lester couldn't out. Then the same dimensional pressure less distorting and Riker new line. Interesting. And shake new line. He darted up a few flights of stairs, rushing toward an open area of wall where new line and shake him a few times, thought Lester, chuckling. New line. New period. Chuckling. T-O-2-A-I himself space. Himself, comma. Space. Assuming. He was dealing with space with space trait of sticky fingers. Interesting. We'll have to see how much money pops out if we turn him upside down and shake him a few times, thought Lester, chuckling to himself, assuming he was dealing with a common trait of sticky fingers. Space. Fingers. Space. Fingers. Depict. P up. Why? At most, if a not all trees trees street running children period. New line. He darted up a few flights of stairs. Window should have been new line. His hand snaked out. New line. Footer. Button at his hand snaked. Actions of a body out. T-U-O. Space. Snaked. U-P. Up. Space. Page 1 body, his hand snaked up in a deft movement. His momentum to swing upward. New line. He flipped, curling inward, land in a crouch on the roof, where amazement at him, before Lester gestured down the series of homes, pointing at the girl racing for her life. New line. Drop the lantern, you idiot. She's new line. Page 2 body. Riker's face flickered through a series of facial expressions Lester could only describe as furious. However, furious. Page describe. Page as furious. Page 2 body furious. E-D shocked. B-E-T-R-A-Y-E-D betrayed. E-D-N F furious. However, the misspelled devilish grin the boy's face landed on made Lester feel as if he'd said something wrong. New line. Then Riker punched the rooftop, snapping bones in his hand, Lester now able to see the ice-covered limb for just a moment before taking off across. Lester couldn't help but notice that right hadn't screamed but could let the take before taking space before the kid okay took off. Then Riker punched the rooftop, snapping bones in his hand. Took the look up at the to able now Lester now able to see the ice to hit snapping roofed the punched paid the rooftop snapping page 2 body snipping Lester wincing at the snapping bones in his pay his HRIERS page 2 body. Then Riker punched the rooftop, Lester wincing at the snapping bones in Riker's hand, Lester now able to see the ice-covered limb for just a moment before the kid took off across the roof. Lester now able to see the roof. New line. Lester couldn't help but notice that Riker hadn't screamed. Speech muted.
Pretty penny too, if he can even afford it. Lester took off at a jog, knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from using excessive skill usage in public. The mortal perception was that they were safe, and though they were absolutely at risk much of their everyday lives, Lester saw the difference such societal choices had shown to be beneficial to the peace of Cloud Lake City. Riker surprisingly made good speed, even looking over his shoulder at Lester at one point, giving the man a blood-filled grin and a wink. Cocky bastard.
Speech unmuted.
Feeling that everything being displayed was completely unlike the norm. The mortal perception was that the
body punch. New line. Riker surprisingly cocky miss. Unlike new line. I owe you a beating. You Riker surprisingly made good speed. New choices had shown to be were absolute excessive. Lester took off at a jog, knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped. New line. Action body left took a jog, comma. Jog period. Space. He. You didn't. Couldn't. You. And. Run. A-S. T. At. A. Full. P. Sprint. Space. Sprint, comma. The. P. Pressure. His. F. Y. R. Very. T. E. P. Steps. You could. E. Cave. D. Old. Roofs. Space. Roofs, comma. Space. Or. Even. E. Cause. Domino. T. Effect. Of. P. Inch. Toppling. Homes. If. He. E-D. Moved. I-H. T. 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 Misspelled with T-O-A-I-W. A-T. Without. P-E-T-E. E-T-E-P-M-O-C. Space. A-S-A-U-S-S. Caution. E. Care period. Space. Space. New line. Tab. Page 2 body, knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from using excessive skill usage in public. The more K. Page 2 body, knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from using excessive skill usage in public. The mortal perception was that they were safe, and though they were absolutely at risk much of public, the more that they were, that what mortal, the public, in usage, skill, use in public, period. Kept E-T R misspelled lest E-T-E-L space kept E-T-R Lester many R others S right single others I-N line D-U-E-2 the U-G-O ungodly fees space. Knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from using excessive skill usage in public kept Lester and many others in line due to the ungodly fees. The mortal perception was that they fees, fees period. Page 2 body, knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from using excessive skill usage in public, kept Lester. Page 2 body, knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from using excessive skill usage in public, kept new line. No, that the man of all from using excessive. Page 2 body, U space
10 minutes ago.
M from. Page 2 body, knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from excessive skill usage in public, kept Lester, and many others in line, kept Lester, kept. Knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from excessive skill usage in public, kept Lester, and many others in line due to the ungodly fees. Kept N. Knowing that the mandate of exposure stopped all from knowing TH with steps without R E new line new N K T. Page 2 body, that the mandate of exposure stopped all from tab T. Page 2 body, the mandate of exposure stopped all from excessive skill usage in public, kept Lester, and many others in the in public, kept. Page 2 body, had. Page 2 body, the mandate of exposure stopped all from excessive skill usage in public, and had kept Lester, and many others in line due to the ungodly fees. Lester were safe, and though they were absolutely at risk much of their everyday lives, different such societal choices had shown to be beneficial to the peace of Cloud Lake City. New line.
Okay.
Were safe, and though they were absolutely at risk.
Speechify has new window.
Lester
Speech
saw that
muted.
different such societal choices had shown to be beneficial to the peace of Cloud Lake City. Riker surprisingly made good speed, even looking over his shoulder at Lester at one point, giving the man a blood-filled grin and a wink. Cocky bastard, thought Lester, feeling that everything being displayed was completely unlike the normally skittish youngster. I owe you a beating, you brat. I ain't a noble, but I'm going to show you why they should treat me like I am. He closed in, getting close enough to even try and reach out toward her. The pair speeding across one of the many planks laid from
Speech
rooftop to
unmuted.
rooftop to make travel easier for the many messengers that worked throughout the city. Some homes were
Botted were safe. Cocky misspelled, unlike the normally skittish youngster. New point. Riker surprisingly made good speed, even looking over his shoulder. Point. New cocky misspelled, unlike the new line. I owe you a beat treatment. New line. He closed in, speeding across one of them. New treat me like I am. New line. Some homes were close enough that the boards were unneeded. The wood was never new. Some homes were close enough that the boards. Speech muted.
close enough that the boards were unneeded. The wood was never repaired, leaving many of their makeshift bridges to shake violently as the two raced atop their deteriorating surfaces. The instances without planks called for mostly short jumps, all of which Riker had seen coming, sometimes even clearing the gaps without a single downward glance. A feat that showed his awareness.
Speech unmuted.
As Lester
Bottom. Treat me. I owe you. New line. Unlike the normally skittish youngster. Cut. New line. Point. Riker surprisingly made good. New line. Different such societal. New line. New period. Period. New tab. Not eat like the kids go to that what anytime soon space soon period. New line. Riker surprisingly made good speed, even looking over his shoulder at Lester at one point, giving the man a blood-filled grin and a wink. New line. New period. 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 Wait, make less d wonder if his l soul skill was athletic nature space nature period. New line. Cocky misspelled bastard, thought Lester, feeling that everything being displayed was completely unlike the normally skittish youngster. New line. I owe you a beating, you brat. I ain't a noble, but I'm gonna show you why they should treat me like I am. New line. He closed in, getting close enough to even try. New line. New line. Tab. L-A-T. Last. T-S-A. E-T. Less. T. Couldn't. E-P. Help. T. But. A. Laugh. Space. Laugh, comma. Laugh. A. S. S. He. H. R. Page 2 body. Lester couldn't help but laugh as Riker closed in, getting close enough to even try and reach out toward her. Page 2 body. Lester couldn't help but laugh as Riker closed in, getting close enough to even try and reach out toward her. Close in, getting close to try and reach out toward her. Period. H. T. The. T. Fit. L. Girl. Space. T-I-F. Space. The. T. Swift. L. Girl. Period. Rooftop to make travel easy. Reach out toward the swift girl. The pair speeding across one of the many planks. Rooftop to make travel easier for the many messengers of city. New line. Some homes were close enough that the boards were unneeded. Repaired. New line. The instances without planks called for mostly short coming. Showed his awareness was sharp. And to watch those live in the light should have. New line. No kid, don't. New line. New line. Period. Period. New tab. All. These. All. Factors. E-D. Lead. L. Lester. 2. Believe. That. The. D. Kids. Skip. Must. B. Based. The. Y. Physical. T-E. System. P-R-O-W-E-S-E-S. Prowesses. Space. Prowesses, comma. Space. Y-E-T. Yet. His. Own. S-S-L-S. K-I-L. Soul skill. E-N-T. Chill. Down. His. P-I-N-E. Spine. Waist. That. Hadn't. Since. Own. D. Childhood. Space. Childhood period. Space. T. The. Thought. Filling. Him. With. Such. Sense. Of. N. G. Wrongness. After. D. Had. That. He. D. Had. To. D. I. Dismiss. It. S. N. G. Wrong. Space.
Did you say something? It just
Wrong. I-N-E-D-I-A-T. Immediate. Space. Immediately. Period. New tab. H. E. He. E. I. S. I. E. He. E. H. E. T. R. Lester. E. L. T. His. You. Guy. Y. Y. T. Gut. S. T. W. T. Twist. N. Space. Twist. A. With. Surge. Mana. T. That. D. May. Him. O. Slow. Space. slow pace, his, balance, suddenly, unsteady, unsteady, comma, space, the, same, space, same, second, that, Riker, decided, move period, no kid, don't, new line, Riker dove, spear tackling the girl, at the worst of times. He did successfully tackle her, speech muted.
Kid could be 1v and move your camera up.
Am I good in both positions? I'll be moving and stuff.
Speech unmuted. Speech muted.
Leave the child who played in dark corners only to watch those live in the light should have.
Kid could
No
be 1v
kid,
and
don't.
yes.
Riker, dove, spear tackling the girl at the worst of times. He did successfully tackle her off her feet, as well as clear off the side of the fourth-story rooftop. Riker. Lester was too far, reaching his arm out and drawing on every bit of mana within him to summon forth his soul skill's maximum output in a massive burst. A hand made of telekinetic force, formed like the wrath of a god made physical. Lester knew
Speech
not why he
unmuted.
felt such a sudden and powerful urge to try and save 10.
Kid could
damn
be
it.
1v and you're
Manipulated
good
momentum.
now.
Damn it. Damn it.
Bought a new line. Off her feet. Summon forth. A hand made of summon forth. Lester was too far, reaching his arm out and drawing on every bit of mana within him to summon forth his soul skill. Hand. Made. Soul. His. Fourth. His. Soul. Skills. S. Soul. Page 3 S. Space. His. O. P. R. Primary. Space. Primary. E. Offensive. E. Defensive. Lester was too far, reaching his arm out and drawing on every bit of mana within him to summon forth his primary offensive and defensive skills' maximum output in a massive burst. New line. A hand made of telekinetic force formed like the wrath of a god made summon forth Lester with new line. Shots. Selected bottom traveling brat. Copy.
God damn it.
Bought a new line.
Lester
Bought
was
a new
too far,
line.
reaching
Actions
his
of
arm out and drawing on every bit of mana within him to summon forth his primary offensive and defensive skills' maximum
Oh, I did
output
it. I did
in a
it.
massive burst. A hand made of telekinetic force formed like the wrath of a god made physical. Lester knew not why he felt such a sudden and powerful urge to try and save the boy, regretting the action the moment the brownstone that separated Lester and where Riker fell exploded. An entire corner of the structure blown apart in a breath. The alley the two youths fell into, exposed like a body obliterated by a shotgun blast. Lester froze in that moment. Not because of the two dead and splattered bodies he could now see from his vantage point. No, what brought him up short was Riker's shadow, pulling the boy within itself. Hundreds of hands made of what Lester now knew was indeed not a shadow, or of arcane shadow mana, but instead was living space-time continuum. Lester could see the galactic energies being twisted by the hands as they dragged him down into themselves. The action for the unfathomable entity still seeming to be a struggle. Each of the hands, when spawned only managing a few fractional inches, with each attempt to drag him into the portal. A portal that Lester's keen senses could see the opposing side of. The image of a sleeping Riker was revealed when Lester dared peer into the portal's depths, the older man having no clues as to what he was seeing occur. He felt one of his skills trigger in that moment. The very skill that made him into the powerful wielder he was. His soul skill. The memory in his mind of what he was seeing was burned into his memory in a way that tied the memory to his soul, and furthermore his fate, making his overlay chime. Bling! Eternal memories triggered. Riker Common born. After taking on Riker Common born, the youth showed strange shifts in personality. He didn't fight his potential enslavement, nor did he fight becoming a slave trader. The youth instead showed an impressive proclivity for the tasks given. Matters to include when reliving this memory, Riker's hidden ancestral tome skill is unknown. Affinities may include space-time alteration, assessed threat level, cataclysmic. Lester blinked. The memory he'd just watched left him baffled beyond belief. A single glance at Riker had caused the memory to shut down his every sense until he relived the interaction. One he hadn't had yet, which bothered Lester to his core. The boy kept looking over his shoulder at Lester and smiling, not in a way that filled Lester with confidence that he was wrong about what he was quickly suspecting about the boy. Then he felt it. Even as they stood waiting for the mayor to arrive, Lester could feel the energy distorting everything around Riker in the radius of his shadow's length around himself. A powerfully unique wielder skill had been birthed, and Riker Commonborn was no longer a mortal. Gods be damned if I have to kill another time traveling brat. Lester was too far, reaching his arm out,
Speechify
drawing
has
on
new
every bit of
window.
mana within him,
Actions
to summon
available.
forth his
Format text quickly by voiceover jump body, page 4 of 4. Edit text, content selected body Lester blinked. Copy. Actions available. Format text quickly by voiceover jumping to the format. Google Chrome. Streamlabs Desk Finder. Speechify. Hit Google Chrome. Chrome. 9. Audiobook. Now in. 9 NCT. Now in. Pocket Studio. Write stories for the world. Google Pockets toolbar. Pocket chapter. Pockets chapter. Pocket Studio. Chapter options. That button. Chapter option button. Chapter options. Pockets toolbar. New tab. Pockets chapter pocket toolbar item palette. New tab. Pocket Studio. Chapter options. Dialog pop-up collapsed. Button and one more. Pocket Studio. Pockets toolbar. Pocket menu icon. Improve icon. Earn icon. And back to pocket. Master of name. Main. DeathWish. Live. Share book. Edit book. Delete book. Total words. 13.2K. Total plays. 97. Total earn. Hyphen. Noise. Pattern. Publish 30K words. Next achievement. Earn 150 free coins. Track progress, arrow right, achievement, image, published 0, draft 01, bin, add new episode, but creating. You are currently on a add new episode. Text editor.
The
text
next mark is 30,000, but that's not for the partnership for PocketFM. So yeah, we'll touch back at 50K with them. I'm just gonna keep trying to put out the best chapters I can for this story as a whole and go from there. I'm thinking next we try to, who should we mess with next? I don't know if we're gonna have him try to like go with Adam and everybody again and try to get a little bit of revenge to see if he can get some easy pages by killing some people and then ended up at the bottom of the crypt again. I don't know if we're going there. I don't know if we're going to mess with the girl who should have died. I don't know if we're going to mess with Osiris, the blacksmith. I don't know where we're going next, but we're going to figure it out one chapter at a time.
End of May. Text editor. Text enter. More option. Version hit preview. Circle tick icon last up untitled episode. Enter episode title. N-I-P-E-D. Manipulated. M-E. 16. End. E-N. Moment. Space. Version his. More option. Publish. Button. Zoom level. Close notification. Pocket Studio. Text editor. Text entry and text entry. You are write your story here. Distorting everything around Riker in the radius of his shadow. 10. 1. You are current new line. M-U-E-M. M-M. New line. L-L. Lester, more commonly known to himself, and zoom level. Publish. More option. Publish. Button. You are currently on a button. To click this button, press Control, Option, Space. Main, image, visit main, master of names, DeathWish, live, share book, edit book, delete book, total words, 14.7K. We're
through away from halfway to their next checkpoint where they're going to give me 150 150 credits. So what's crazy is I'm not even, you know what I mean? I'm not even using this account to listen to stuff. So I think I already got the 100 credit bonus. So that's interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna go and figure out lunch for myself, guys. Haven't eaten yet today, and then I'm gonna come back with some spell tank. I'm gonna check on my fiance, see how she's doing. Make sure my diabetes is straight, and get back to some more listening. But that's gonna be spell tank's gonna be a refresher, so it's just gonna be a whole bunch of episodes that we listen to. I'm gonna probably start with like the first 4 or 5 episodes, or 6 maybe, because I think that one block is gonna be pretty good, and I'm gonna have to make like a spell tank playlist and things like that. So I got some work to do before before I get too crazy. But it's fine. It's all good. This is perfect for me because I can go back and listen to all this stuff when I need to take notes, when I want to give these series my full attention and publish and stuff like that. So yeah, but again, partnership with PocketFM underway. We're working towards it. I don't know if I need to start posting in like PocketFM communities to like get cross-reviewed and cross-examined with other people's works and stuff. Like because I'm already a part of like a couple of groups on for PocketFM on Discord, so maybe I'll throw my link in there after asking the permissions from the
Messages 87,005.
Yep. So yeah, I'm going to work on that. We're well over the mark for the 1,000 subscribers that we need on YouTube to get partnered. So now we just need the watch hours. So I'm going to continue to put out this content and have people watch and listen to books, especially like this spell tank refresher. I think people are going to enjoy that. And I got a lot of good stories that I'm going to start putting up on YouTube, because I'd rather have them up and being watched and enjoyed than just sitting rotting on my computer doing nothing. So yeah, this is going to be great. It's going to be great. We got a lot of good stuff coming for you this week. Please check out the Patreon. Please continue to do as you guys have been doing and buying the Amazon books. Honestly, it makes all of this worth it. Yeah. Oh, we are still developing the EpistemicLibrary website for relaunch. I have a few more features that I want to put on there before we put it back up. Please check out please subscribe to everywhere. Subscribe TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Royal Road. I got all the links are in the descriptions for the videos. I should probably add those to my my actual bio on my YouTube bio. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get that done today. Yeah. And what else? I feel like I'm always forgetting stuff, guys. Yeah. Come back later for Spell Tank. Come back tomorrow for Life of Symphony Omen. We get to start talking with the angels and seeing what he's going to get into for learning from the hated community of angels. And what else? Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying. I hope you guys are writing. I hope you're being good to yourselves. I hope that you're living your lives and enjoying your experiences and using every day as inspiration. And I hope you're being good to yourselves. I know I probably
Pages.
said that already.
Streamlabs desk. Streamlabs desk.
And I hope
Button. Group.
that
End
you guys
stream.
come back
Button.
tomorrow.
You are currently live 1 hour, 55 minute group.
Okay,
2 viewers. Group. Live 1 hour, 50. End stream. Live 1 hour. End button.
I'm gonna
End
be back,
stream. Button.
with Spell Tank probably in about an hour is what I'm hoping for. Do some Spell Tank. because later I'm gonna be trying to get into a guild on World of Warcraft made of blind players, so I'm really excited for that. So I don't know how much of spell tank I'm gonna want to do before I spend the rest of my day vegging out trying to get World of Warcraft to work, but yeah, we're here for it. Yeah, let me know if you guys want to see that kind of stuff too. I'll do it on my other channel. Yeah. I love you guys. Be good to yourselves.